Hey man, welcome back to Man Time. Today's episode, we are going to learn how to run some old yellow iron. Welcome to Man Time. So, if you're joining me for the first time, this is, of course, Man Time, my channel about homesteading, farmsteading, running old equipment, building a barn dominium, out in the woods, maintaining your property out in the woods. If you're, fed up with life in the city, like I was in an apartment, aching to get out to the country, get back to your roots, get back to nature, that's where I was about 15 years ago, and I finally made the move out here to the country. This machine was the first machine that I purchased. Scrap value, not running, had to have it towed out of the woods. The tow bill was almost as much as the vehicle cost. And I rebuilt the engine, transmission, drive, clutches, all the cylinders, had to build this deal up on the hood. The radiator kept cracking on me. This is the third or fourth, I think it's the fourth radiator, because the first replacement that I got wasn't built strong enough. The second one cracked, and then I've had it rebuilt a couple times. So I finally built this little roll cage to stabilize the radiator. But that's kind of my first point. When you're running old equipment, basically there's going to be little quirks and nuances you need to get used to. So run it slow, don't, over rev it. It's not like the new machines where you just crank it into maximum throttle and crank it into maximum drive. And, if I run this thing at full throttle in third gear, it's just going to rattle itself apart. Red Loctite is your best friend when you're going to rebuild something like this. All this stuff just wants to fall apart. The engine is hard mounted in the frame, and you feel every vibration. Every vibration is, passed up through the tracks into the top. So go slow, go smooth, and, just pay attention to what you're doing, I guess. Let's start off here by firing it up, and I have got a lot of dirt to move. I'm flattening out the area around my barn dominium. There's a couple low spots. There's a low spot in the front off to one side, and then I need to raise up the elevation at the bay doors. So we'll show some of that too. Let's get after it. So I've already pre-warmed it, but you're going to want to run those glow plugs for about 15 seconds, count it down, and then crank it over after that. I had gloves somewhere. Do I not have gloves anymore? I don't know. So there's a throttle on the left-hand side. You've got your bucket controls here, and your transmission forward reverse here, and there's a lock that you have to lift up to get it to go from forward to reverse. Fire it up. Putting the key in it is also a very important part of the startup procedure. So if you're lucky enough to find one of these old track loaders out in the woods and snatch it up for scrap prices, there's a couple things you probably want to know in running it and rebuilding it, right? Again, red Loctite's your friend, but running it after you get all the stuff rebuilt, there is some rebuild kits for the engine. I think I got this one from Ag Kits. I think it's the name of the company. Sleeves, pistons, rings, bearings, like the whole deal. Did rod bearings. Yeah, just went through the whole engine. But the way the clutches work, it's actually like half throw is engaging the clutch, and then full throw is engaging the clutch and the brake. So each pedal is controlling one set of tracks, and then there's a middle pedal that's double brakes that just brakes both tracks with a e-brake on there. But you need to be, paying special attention here. You can see the wood up there is taking some dings on the dump truck. If that was your buddy's dump truck, he'd probably be pretty upset if you took out his wood there. But being, this is my equipment, this is my land, I'll run it how I want to. But if you get in a hurry, that's what's going to happen to you. Anywho, it's a good thing to know about, like, what that hump means. Like, I can see dirt in there, but that doesn't always mean, like, the dump truck is full. Like, sometimes you can get up there with the bucket, kind of smash it down. But let's get up in there and see what 4 big scoops of dirt did to the back of that dump truck there. Yeah, this is why it's a good idea just to get up here and take a look, right? The whole back of it is empty. The whole front of it is full. And it looks like it's kind of, it's, all the way to the edge over there. Not all the way here, but the hump is kind of off to this side. So, what I'm saying here is you just want to make sure you're kind of equally loaded. And having more dirt in the front is a good thing, but next time I'm going to have a scoop in the back and kind of alternate between front and back. Alright, well, if you're running a dump truck like I am, the most important thing to do there, before you dump the dirt, make sure to open the latch on the back of the dump bed. That's a real bad day if you forget to do that. So whatever's on your mind, whatever you've been doing, just remember, always open the latch before you dump. So this is what I'm dealing with here, and this is where I've got the trench for the outfalls on the gutters, and like right here it's just kind of super low. So I'm going to do a couple loads here, and then at the front of the dump truck there I'm going to do a couple more loads, and then we'll go over and look at what I'm doing underneath the awning on the barn dominium. Yeah, for those of you that are curious, that handle right there is a very special and important handle. You need to find that on your dump truck before you start operating it. Yeah, so here's kind of a better look at it. You can see it's kind of like undulating, and especially, where I've done the irrigation or the outfalls off the gutters there. They're, it's unpacked, and it's now getting packed. But yeah, I've got a few more loads to go here to get this all straightened out. And then the next part of the project is right here. I need to run this up so it's about, an inch or so off where, these bay doors are. And I'm going to do something here. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to do gravel. I want this to be a spot to work. So working means laying on the ground, right? I don't want to be laying on gravel. I've got a couple ideas, but if you've got any ideas, again, looking for cheap here, right? This is low priority, but I want it to get done fairly quickly with not a lot of money. So if that was the situation you're in, what would you do here? I'm moving in this clay sand mixture, again, to get it up really nice and high. More clay than sand, because I really don't want it, kicking up. But when you're working on a vehicle, you don't want dirt, especially like really fine sand, sugar sand is what we call it here. You don't want that kicking up as you're, working on a vehicle, so you need something that's not going to let the dirt kick up also. So if you got any ideas, make sure to post them down below in the comments. Anyways, that's going to do it for today on Man Time. Hope you learned something. Hope you had fun. Hope you drank a couple frosty beverages while you were with us here on Man Time. Get out there, have you some Man Time too.